Hello, welcome to Economics 101, your number one source for everything economics. What would happen if global trade just stopped working? No ships moving, no goods flowing, no cheap imports. I know it sounds extreme, but even small disruptions in global trade have already caused massive price spikes, shortages, and economic stress. In this video, we're going to break down three specific points related to a global trade collapse. Number one, what global trade actually does for the economy, what happens when it starts breaking down, and how it impacts prices, jobs, and financial markets. Before we jump into the video, I do have a quick favor that really helps grow the channel. If you enjoy simple breakdowns like this, consider liking the video and subscribing so more people can understand what's really happening in our economy. Now let's hop into it. So global trade is the backbone of our economy. Roughly 25 plus trillion dollars in goods and services are traded globally each year. So that means the iPhone that you have, the iPhone that I'm recording, um, built across multiple countries, your groceries, often imported and globally sourced, even cars made with parts from dozens of countries. Trade allows lower prices, more variety, faster growth. Um, Without it, everything becomes more expensive and less efficient. So, what would break down first if we had a collapse in global trade? Okay. If global trade starts breaking down, the first thing to go is going to be our supply chains. Okay. We already saw a preview of this during COVID. Everybody saw how COVID basically disrupted our supply chains in the US. Okay. From shipping delays, factory shutdowns, container shortages. And what happened? You got prices going up, prices surge. Okay. You got products that disappeared. You have businesses that were struggling. Now imagine that, but worse and more prolonged, a longer time period of that. Okay, factories can't get parts, stores can't restock inventory, and suddenly the economy starts to stall. Okay, so how does this relate to prices as well as inflation spikes? Okay, here's where it hits consumers directly. So when you have trade slowing down, or when trade slows, fewer goods are available. Demand stays the same, or should stay the same. That leads to one thing. All right, you guessed it, higher prices. If I got fewer goods available and demand staying the same or possibly increasing, I'm going to get higher prices eventually. This is classic inflation. We saw U.S. inflation hit around 9% in 2022 during supply chain disruptions. Okay, if global trade fully breaks down, inflation will spike again or even go higher. Okay, so that means for you and me, the average everyday consumer, we're going to be paying more at the grocery store. That iPhone is going to be more expensive. Um, Gas is going to be more expensive. Energy is going to rise. Okay, the price of energy is going to rise, and purchasing power is going to drop fast. All right. Now let's talk about jobs. If global trade were to collapse, what's going to happen to my job, your job? What's going to happen as far as jobs in our economy? Global trade, it supports millions of jobs: manufacturing, logistics, um, retail, exports. Okay, if trade collapses, companies are going to lose access to markets. Production is definitely going to slow. We can't expect layoffs to increase, and that effect is going to lead to rising unemployment, lower GDP growth. You kind of see the cycle that it would happen. Um, Potential recession. I'm going to say not a potential recession, but an actual, definitely a recession. So while prices go up, economic growth actually slows down. That's a dangerous combination. Okay, we've talked about it a little bit before, but when you have that kind of combination of increasing prices and economic growth slowing down, that's what we call stagflation. I've done a video about stagflation in the past, and I have more videos to come about it. We're gonna switch right now. Now the Federal Reserve is in a tough spot if global trade were to collapse. Okay, uh, because they're dealing with rising inflation, slowing growth. Normally, high inflation, higher rates, weak economy, cut rates. That's typically what happens, right? Um, but in this situation where global trade were to collapse, both of those things are going to happen at the same time. You're going to have higher inflation, which you to fight high inflation, you raise your rates. For a weak economy, you cut your rates. If both of those things are happening at the same time, that limits what the Fed is able to do. Meanwhile, markets will be reacting fast. Stocks will probably fall due to their uncertainty. Supply dependent companies pretty much get hit the hardest. Volatility is going to spike globally. What you'll probably see is like countries um, may turn inward, trying to manufacture and produce uh, within their country. Trade alliances are going to weaken. Economic tensions are going to rise. So you're going to have a chain effect if we were to see global trade uh, definitely collapse. But quick pause. If you want more breakdowns like this that actually make sense of global economic risk, make sure you subscribe and stick around. That's exactly what this channel is built for. Okay. So what happens next? What happens if trade continues to weaken? A few possible outcomes. We briefly discuss them. Regional trade replaces global trade. That would probably be one of the first things. Countries are going to try to produce more domestically. Prices stay for the most part, they're going to stay high. This is already happening in some areas. Supply chains are shifting, reshoring manufacturing, bringing manufacturing back to the U.S. or back uh, to your country. Uh, but rebuilding systems takes time and is it's also expensive. So the bottom line to all of this, if global trade were to collapse, let's say overnight, if global trade breaks down, the impact would be immediate and widespread. Higher prices, slower growth, more uncertainty. It wouldn't just be an economic issue. It would reshape how the entire world economy works. Okay? So if you found this video helpful, please like, like the video, subscribe for more breakdowns, and comment below. Do you think global trade is becoming more fragile, especially with everything going on in the Middle East recently? And as always, this is Economics, your number one source for everything econ. I'll see you in the next video.